my channel. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day full of fantastic things in it. As always, and for today's video, I thought we would take a break from the grind of the platinums of the ARs, and we will go over what is coming to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Season 2 and Warzone 2 Season 2. And that is a tongue twister. I cannot tell you how many times I have re-recorded that. That's a tongue twister, but we finally got it out. Yay. So for today's video, I thought that we would go over what is coming to Season 2. Now, for those of you who do not know, there is a lot more changes coming to Warzone 2 than the multiplayer. I have my thoughts on that. We'll get into that in a minute. But I do have my thoughts on that. And I have my strong opinion about it. I will say that. So stay tuned for that. But there's a lot of good changes coming. A lot of changes that needed to be made to Warzone 2 and to the multiplayer as well. There's a lot of changes that needed to happen. So anyway, let's just get right down to it. I thought that we would start off with the Warzone 2. Hopefully Warzone 2 is popping up right now. I thought that we would start off with that. And by the way, the reason why I'm doing this video is not just for you guys, it's for me too. I feel like sometimes when Call of Duty announces things like this, sometimes the information gets muddled. So I thought that we would just break it down for not only for you guys, but for myself. So let's just get going. Let's start off with the Warzone 2 part of things, because there's a lot more changes come to that. So let's just get right down into it. Let's get down into it. For the first thing, I can't talk today. This is random. I'm sorry. I can't talk today. But let's get into it. So let's start off with the Gulag. Yes, the Gulag is going to have a huge change to it. For those of you who do not know, back in Warzone 1, it was a 1v1. It would be you and one other person, and you had the option to take each other out, or one of you had the option to capture the flag that was in the middle of the Gulag. You had that option. In Warzone 2, they changed it. Instead of a 1v1, it was a 2v2. And instead of a flag, there was a jailer. And if you took down the jailer, all four of you did, then you will all four automatically get back into the game. Now, I think, look, the concept of that, in my opinion, is actually a decent concept. That's just my opinion. I think it's a decent concept. However, it did not work. And it did not work for several reasons. The number one reason is that Warzone 2 is way too slow. It's a slower, and some people like that. That's fine. I like it faster, but some people like it, and that's all right. But it is slower. In my opinion, it's way too slower, but it is slower. So I don't think that they thought about the amount of people that would be coming into the Gulag. 9 times out of 10, I would be stuck with a bot as my partner when I got into there, because there wasn't enough people coming to the Gulag, Call of Duty. And the idea of the jailer wasn't horrible, but no one does it. And even every time I would try to suggest it over proximity chat, no one liked it. No one liked it. And by the way, I don't use proximity chat anymore. I think that was kind of the honeymoon phase of the proximity chat, and now I'm just kind of over it. But at the beginning, I tried, and no one wanted to do that. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing that they're taking it back to the 1v1. And instead, the jailer, by the way, they're going to have the flag. So the jailer will be replaced with the flag. Honestly, in my opinion, some of these changes that they did in Warzone 2, by the way, I feel like that they really stripped down things for Warzone 2. Some of them I was okay with, and some of them I was not. The Gulag, in my opinion, didn't really need to be touched, in my opinion. Out of all the things that they could have changed, they changed that, and that was very interesting. Also, by the way, weapons. You will be able now to drop in with better weapons in the Gulag. So no longer will you have to be stuck with a shotgun or with a pistol it's going to be better weapons. So that is a good thing as well. So anyway, that is the changes coming to the Gulag. The other thing that is coming, another change that's coming is looting. They are improving looting, and I am so glad that they are doing this. For those of you who do not know, back in Warzone 1, when you looted someone, it's called also vomit loot as well, but when you would kill someone, their loot will pop out of their body, and really out of their backpack, but you never saw it pop out of the backpack. It looked like it was coming out of his body. Anyway, that's just me. But it would pop out, and you could just grab what you wanted and move on. And the same was with the boxes as well, the loot boxes. Same was with that as well. When you would open the box, it would pop out everything out, and you could pick what you want and move on. They changed that in Warzone 2. They increased the backpack size. If you found a larger backpack, you can, which by the way, I'm not particularly against. You definitely can carry more. But the bad thing about it is when you would, let's say for instance, I would go loot a loot box. It was instead of looting things when looking around me, the screen would pop up, and I would have to decide and switch things in and out of my backpack. So the backpack screen would pop up instead. And that is when 9 times out of 10 I would be killed, because I couldn't see my surroundings. I was in that screen of where the backpack was. So they are changing that. That's not going to be it anymore. They are bringing back the pop out, the vomit loot, which that is good. Now another thing coming to the loot, by the way, is that there's going to be more of it. There's going to be 10 times more of it. For those of you who do not know, I felt like back in Warzone 1, there was a whole lot of loot. There was just a plethora of it. But now in Warzone 2, all the loot is basically at the strongholds. And if you decide, well, I don't really want to play the stronghold route, well, you're out of luck, because it is so hard to find loot. And to find good loot, for that matter. So, yes, they are increasing the amount of loot, which is, I think, something that they should have done from the beginning. That's something that they should never have changed. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, anyway, so that is the changing in the loot. That is what's coming to the loot. They are changing it. So that is one change that they're doing. Another change that they are doing is new DMZ. Yes, they are bringing new stuff to the DMZ mode. Now, the new stuff that they're bringing has a lot of controversy around it. We'll get into that in a minute. But here's the new... I have my notes, by the way. That's what I'm looking down here at, because I want to make sure I get all the information I can out to you guys. And get it right. So that's why if you see me looking down, I'm looking down at my notes. But this is what is new coming. I'm just going to read it off to you guys. There are new places coming, and there are new areas coming. There's going to be new difficulty turning, along with spawn points, mission difficulty, and AI difficulty. That is all that is coming to the DMZ. That is what they are changing. Now, I'm all for new areas, by the way, and I'm all for new things on the map. I think that's actually kind of needed. I think there needs to be a little bit of difference between Warzone 2's map, I'll get out in a minute, Warzone 2's map, and the map in DMZ. I would like there to be a little bit of change. But as far as difficulty turning goes, it's just going to make it a little bit more difficult. The game is going to be a little bit more difficult. It's going to be probably, I'm guessing, more along the lines of Tarkov. That's basically what DMZ is Tarkov. Now, I do think that will be a little bit friendlier than Tarkov, but I do think that they are going to just increase the difficulty in everything. That's basically what they're doing. They're increasing, again, the turning, they're increasing that. They're increasing the mission difficulty, which isn't a horrible thing, but at the same time, I will say the missions are pretty difficult, particularly when you have to go find a key for something, and the key's not anywhere in that surrounding. And it's really, I remember one time, a friend of mine, Pedro, hi Pedro, if you're watching this, we were actually doing a mission to rescue someone, and we could not find the key to save our lives and save that person's life, that AI that we were supposed to save. We could not find the key to get in there. We could not. And it ended up being later on I did the same mission. That key wasn't even in that area. It was in a whole nother area. And so when I have a little, when it says mission difficulty, I'm a little on the fence about it. Because they're already difficult in my opinion, some of the missions. Now some of the missions could increase. But I do think, and basically, by the way, as far as mission difficulty is, I think that's going to kind of just blend into AI difficulty. For those of you who do not know, in the DMZ mode, really, they've added AI strongholds in both Warzone 2, the BR, the Battle Royale, and the DMZ mode. They've added both in both of them, but the DMZ mode has an increase of it. Honestly, I think there needs to be a little bit of decrease, but they are making them harder. They're going to make them smarter, which I'm on the fence about. I'm like, okay. Then at the same time, I'm like, I'm not so sure because there's enough of them there. But anyway, that's just my opinion on that. So anyway, that is what is coming to the DMZ. Now, the controversy that is going around is because everything, the progress that you made in this DMZ at the moment, in Season 1, if you will, we're going to call it Season 1, it's not going to transfer into Season 2. Now, I, for one, am not a fan of that. However, if you guys think about it, just think about it. When you do the opening menu, when the game opens up and you're in the opening menu and it has down there multiplayer, Warzone 2, Battle Royale, and then it has Warzone 2 DMZ. Now, by the DMZ, it has beta by it. So, in my opinion, this is their way of moving out of the beta stage. And in my opinion, honestly, if this is the way they're going to do it, then they shouldn't have just given us the beta version. So we would just eventually lose everything. They should have just waited and come out with this version right now. If it's ready now, then that's what they should have done, and just waiting on the DMZ and just giving us Battle Royale. That's just my opinion. But I think that's why they're moving on. I think that's why they are moving on. They're just going to wipe the slate clean, basically. It's going to that slate's going to be cleaned off. That's basically what it is. And I know that's not making a lot of people happy. And this is not my favorite thing either. But I understand why. So anyway, that is what's coming to the DMZ. Now, here is other things that are coming, which I am super excited about. There's going to be a loadout and perk changes, okay? For those of you who do not know, as far as the perks go, in the perks in Warzone 1, you can actually customize them. So when you dropped in, you would have your own customized perks according to your play style and what you preferred. Yeah, I don't know whose bright idea it was at Call of Duty, but they were like, hey, let's take that away. And look, in my opinion, out of all the things that they stripped down and took away, I do not understand why they took that away. Basically, now when you dropped in, right now, if you were to play Warzone 2, you would not have your customized perks that you have in multiplayer. You would not have that. You are going to have pre-made perks, and you just have to pick which package of perks that suit you best. They are changing that finally, and thank you, Call of Duty. Thank you that you are changing that, because honestly, that part of everything, that just did not make sense why that they changed that. So yes, there is a huge change coming to perks. You can now customize them, and I thank you, Call of Duty, so much. Now, for the loadout part of things, first and foremost, the loadouts are going to be cheaper at the buy station. In fact, all of the prices at the buy station is going to be lowered, which they definitely do need to be. But as far as loadout drops that happen during the game, ones that you don't buy, ones that the game just does, there's going to be 2 of them now. There's not going to be just one. Usually there was just one of late at the beginning of the game. And if you missed out on it, well, you missed out on it. Now there's going to be 2, which I'm excited about. There's going to be one at the beginning of the game. And then there's going to be one when Circle 5 comes up towards the end game. So I'm excited about that. That is something that they're changing. And I'm also glad that they are decreasing the prices at the buy station. Now, another thing that I'm excited about is that they're actually increasing the cash in the game. This is something that they needed to do for a long time. Out of the looting, I just told you guys that the looting was scarce. Cash was even more scarce in this map in Warzone 2. I do not know why. I do not know why, Call of Duty, you are so stingy on the cash. I do not know why. But yes, they are changing that. They are increasing it, and I'm super excited about it. So yes, that is another change that's coming. The other change that's coming is armor plates. Or armor vest, one or the other, whatever you want to call it. They back in Warzone 1, they have it to where you had 3 plates. Yeah, armor vest. Every player would start off with this. You had an armor vest, and each one had a 3-plate armor vest. Everyone did. They took that away in Warzone 2, and they had it to where some would have a 1-plate vest and some would have a 3-plate vest. It was all over the place, and so I'm glad that they are changing that. They are also changing, and we'll go ahead and get into this as well, bursting through doors while plating. Yes, you are now able to run and plate at the same time. Thank you, Call of Duty. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Which, by the way, increases the speed of the game, which this is very much needed. In my opinion, Warzone 2 is too slow. Now, I know some people like it, and I'm glad that you do. But if you're going to have a map this big, the movement needs to be quicker. It needs to be quicker. There has to be some sort of balance, in my opinion, and they took it way too far on the other side of things. So this is going to increase movement. They also said that there is going to be a small boost in movement speed. That is definitely needed. In other words, you're going to be able to sprint a lot more, and I'm super excited about that. So anyway, those are the changes that are coming to Warzone 2. Now, here are the changes that are coming to Warzone 2. There's only 2 of them, to Warzone 2 and the multiplayer. And that is audio turning. I want to say tuning. It's not tuning, it's turning. Audio turning, they are fixing that. Now, I never have had a problem with that. Now, some people did, so they are going to fix it. So that's a good thing. Basically, they're going to boost it in some areas where it needs to be boosted, because some people had trouble with hearing footsteps and things like that. So they are increasing that. And then they are also going to, what's going to affect both of them also is the UI. I'm going to look down here at my notes because I don't want to get this information wrong. They are updating the UI. Basically, they are updating the main menu. They're updating both menus in fact, they're updating the main menu. They're updating the Warzone 2 menu and the DMZ menu. They are updating it all so it can be easier to navigate. And they're also going to increase what is in the store. Yes, it's kind of like Fortnite. There is a store that you can buy things and skins off of. I will say that I'm glad that they're trying to increase what is on the store, and that they've also said that they're going to try to be more creative, which I like, because I have felt like the store in Modern Warfare 2 and in Warzone 2 have been, and basically they're the same thing, have been dry. In my opinion, I've not been really impressed by the packages that are there. So they are going to change that as well. So anyway, that is the things that is coming to both Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer and Warzone 2. That is audio. Let's go over them again real quick. Audio turning, not tuning, audio turning, and a update in UI. So anyway, that's what's coming to both of them. Now, let's get to multiplayer. Hopefully multiplayer is popping up right now. If it isn't, I apologize. That means I had trouble again with my audio, with my hopefully not with my audio, with my editing software. So anyway, this is the changes that are coming to multiplayer, and they are very small. Hardcore mode is making a return. Thank you, Call of Duty, for that. Tier 1 was not working for me. For those of you who do not know, Tier 1, if you saw Tier 1 at the, in the multiplayer, menu, that was actually hardcore. Now, it wasn't as polished as hardcore, but that basically, honestly, I don't know why they did that. That's something that they tried and it didn't work out, so they're going to go back to hardcore, something that is more polished. And I thank you, Call of Duty, so much, because honestly, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I would play Tier 1, the game would crash automatically. So yes, I'm glad that and that's just a Call of Duty thing, period. And that's something that needs to be changed. And that's something I would like to see change in Season 2. Let's just put that out there. But yes, instead of Tier 1, they are now doing hardcore, which I prefer. Another thing that they are adding here is rank play. We have not had rank play in a very long time in Call of Duty. Thank you, Call of Duty. I actually feel like that competitive games, the multiplayer in Call of Duty and in other games like, let's say, for instance, Halo and things like that, I feel like they need rank play. So I am so excited that they are bringing rank play into Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer. It is definitely needed, I believe. But anyway, there you go. That is everything that is coming to Season 2. Now, I told you guys I would give you my thoughts on why I think there's more coming to the Warzone part of things instead of multiplayer. And my thing is well, honestly, it's basic and simple. Warzone 2 has a lot more problems than the multiplayer. In fact, the multiplayer is stronger than the Warzone part of things at the moment. I think because for several reasons. I think the number one reason is that the new movement, even though it's been stripped down so much, I think it works better in multiplayer than it works in Warzone 2. I do not think that this movement, the stripped down movement, that especially on this big map, El Mazrah, I think that them stripping down the movement so much so is stripping down everything that made Warzone, stripping down everything and taking away everything. They took too much away. And so it was fun at first, but then you started to see the cracks. And I think that's why there is a lot more coming to Warzone 2 than the multiplayer. There were a lot more cracks there than there was in the multiplayer. Now, I will say this. For those of you who do not know, before I go on, I stream on Twitch at Nash the Gamer channel on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8:30. I'll put that a link down below. But I was streaming last night some Cold War Zombies. I have not played Cold War Zombies in forever, and I love zombies. I dedicate a whole section of zombies to zombies on this channel. Now, I haven't been doing a lot with it lately because there is no zombies at the moment. But I decided to revisit Cold War Zombies, and I will say this. I did not realize how much I missed the movement until I played that last night. I do miss the bunny hopping. I do miss the slide canceling. Do I think that they are necessary for to bring back? Because I know some people don't like it. Is it necessary? No. Do I think that it may need to be back in the game? I do. Do I think that they will bring it back? No, I don't think that they're going to bring back everything about the movement. They may down the road. I do not know, but I don't see them doing that. I just see them, like we just read here, that there's going to be a small boost in movement speed. I think that is what's going to be coming. And that also includes jumping. You could kind of do bunny hopping if you want to, just a little bit. But yeah, I think honestly the cracks show more in Warzone 2 than it does in multiplayer. Do I wish that the movement was better in multiplayer? I do, but it doesn't make or break multiplayer for me. But in my opinion, these things that they're bringing back, yeah, some of them was breaking Warzone. So this is a good thing. If you're a Warzone player predominantly, you should be excited about these things that are coming. But anyway, those are just my opinions about it. Honestly, I'm excited about what's coming back to Warzone. I'm excited about ranked play, and I'm excited about hardcore. I'm excited about those, but I'm even more excited about what's coming to Warzone 2 because honestly, everything that I just listed off to you is needed. But anyway, there you go. Let me know in the comments below what you are most excited about what is coming to Call of Duty Season 2. Like, comment, and subscribe. You do not have to, but I would love for you to. And I will see you on the next video, well, that you see me in. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Yay, we got through it. Yay.